Normally we're heading to Happy Valley on a Wednesday, but a little bit different this week. Sha Tin on a Wednesday night for 8 races on the all-weather. We've got it all covered here on Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Jean. Pleased to say I'm joined in the studio by our four-man list in Paul Lally and race caller Mark McNamara as well. Mark, we've got some of our best all-weather horses out as well.
We do indeed. Hong Kong Great. Hello to you, Andrew, and everybody. Hong Kong Great steps up to the 1650 for his second run this time in. Of course, he is the track record holder. Zach 2 from 2 on the horse, but he does have to carry the top weight this week.
He certainly does. There's always some interesting puzzles with horses trying the surface for the first time as well, Paul.
Yeah, it's always key to sort of have a look on the website if you get the chance and look at trials and stuff and horses that work really well on the surface, because they can do that and then come to the races and race really, really well. No jackpots to speak of, Andrew, but there'll be plenty of interesting results. Is that the right word? There's normally some good dividends anyway on the night.
All right, well, before we get into Wednesday night's programme, let's have a look at trials, as Paul was talking about, from Tuesday morning, and Nervous Witness back in action.
It's the unbeaten 4-year-old here by Star Witness, Nervous Witness, turning in first here for Zach Purton and chose out a length and a half Masterwork, and then came When You Believe, 8 lengths Royal Campbell, 6 lengths Divertus Star, but down towards the 200 metres he's just in cruise control here as Nervous Witness. Shows out 1.5 in advance on When You Believe, 2 lengths Masterwork, 3.5 to Royal Campbell running on at the end, but Nervous Witness just too good in cruise control and wins it.
Yeah, it was. He's a little bit fresh, so he's bouncing a little bit, and he moved around a touch in the gate. But once he's a little bit awkward when he took that first step because he's a bit off balance. But once he picked himself up, he did everything right. His trial was good. So I'm looking forward to riding him again on the 7th, and continuing on the path that we're on.
Yeah, that was Zach talking after the trial. Anyone doesn't know, he's unbeaten in 2 starts so far, Mark, Nervous Witness, and looks like a sprinter with the world at his feet, really.
He does indeed. His trial was good. Went pretty good speed down the back until the first turn. Then Zach backed him off, and we saw there, Paul, in the replay. He let him zip home that last 100 metres, and he looked extremely sharp.
Yeah, real easy trial for him, and it's all systems go, as Zach said, for the 7th. I think that would be his next start.
Yeah, so the horse that ran second, just by way of reference, is When You Believe. He's an 80 rated galloper. He's still a maiden here in Hong Kong, but it's quite smart. The 7th is Sarside Ladies Purse Day. Then, all things being equal, it'll be Jockey Club Day at the end of November, and then potentially International Day, but not the group races.
No, and it'll be potentially 1,200 metres you'll step up to on International Day as well. The next 2 over 1,000 all going to plan, and then to the 1,200 for International Day.
But they've already mapped up a programme to December, which is exciting.
That's really exciting. And look, if he wins those 2 races most impressively leading into it, and he's right up in the ratings, so just be interested to see if they are. I know they're not going for the group races, but
you want them to.
Well, would they be
might
tempted?
throw in an entry for the sake of it at the free stage.
I just wonder if you'd be tempted, that's all.
We'll see. All right, that's Nervous Witness on Tuesday morning. As always, you'll find that information on the website as well at hkjc.com. So 8 races on the all-weather. It means we're heading to Happy Valley on Sunday as well. These are the 2 races we'll be looking at on the show here. The other races, we're looking at 2 and 8s available on the website on the audio-video section. The Class 2 comes up early then, the 1650, and that's the first one we'll check in on as well. So we have heading the field Hong Kong Great, returned over the 200 metres as favourite, but beaten though by Silver Fig. He's the course record holder over this trip. Wishful Thinker gets onto the all-weather for the first time as he gets up from the 12 to 1650. King Shield's got speed. He'll jump from barrier number 3. Got Not Usual Talent on the all-weather for the first time. The Rock, who's now 3rd up for the season, switching back to the dirt. Red Desert, all his wins have been over 12 inches so far. Telecom Fighters, very impressive at Happy Valley last time out on the turf. All-weather first time for him as well. And Helene Wisdom Star, Mark, is also hitting the all-weather for the first time on Wednesday night. So, as we have a look at the speed map for this one, good to slow, we're saying, in the early stages then, Mark, with Hong Kong Great and King's Shield in the field. Do you think that would be the case?
Don't know if he's got a slow speed in him, Hong Kong Great. Even if he finds the front, he just likes to get out and run. Telecom Fighters has been versatile. He's shown plenty of speed at Happy Valley, Paul. He's led and also taken a trail. And we know King Shield likes to push up and get on the speed also. Well,
King Shield's drawn 3, isn't he? And Hong Kong Great's drawn 4. So I just wonder if he will try and push up on the inside of him, as you say. It's possible. Red Desert's another horse who's led in the past as well. So we'll see if he's keen. Not Usual Talent, Wishful Thinker will get back. That's their normal racing style. Helene Wisdom Star, the other one.
All right, well, there you go. There's an idea of how the map might play out. We'll start off, though, with a likely favourite here, Hong Kong Great, and his jockey, Zach Purton.
Zach, nice to have this horse in on a quiet Wednesday dirt night at Sha Tin, Hong Kong Great.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully he can bounce back to the form he was in the latter half of last season. He had a nice pipe opener over 1200. So yeah, he's back to a course and distance that he enjoys, and we'll see if he's still got it.
You didn't ride first up. What did you make of that run? He's just not a 1200 metre horse.
Correct. It's not his right distance, and he probably wasn't in his comfortable rhythm and zone either. I'm just not quite sure if he's still in the same form as he was at the back of last season. I jumped him out on Monday, and it took us a long time to get him in the gate. I think Danny's AT said it took us 9 minutes to get him in, so he used all his energy. He was exhausted by the time he got in there, and I thought his gallop was okay, but not quite as good as his gallop previously. But whether that's because he'd emptied himself out before we finally got to do some work or not, we'll find out tomorrow. But yeah, so it's good to have him back, and we'll just see how he goes.
Is that a nervous thing or a mental thing with him about the barriers?
Oh, it's a stubborn thing. He's not nervous at all. He's just playing a game. So once you get him in there, he's fine, and then obviously once the gate's open, he's good to ride. He's obviously a bit keen, but he's good to ride. Just got to get him in there as quick as we can.
He gets in beautifully this week with the extended rating band too.
Yeah, exactly. The race is there for him, and hopefully we can take advantage of that.
All right, interesting comments then from Zach as far as Hong Kong Great and his recent gallop, and stepping up from the 12 to the 1650 now as well. As we have a look at him in action here, Paul, this was the run. He was favourite for this as well, but not his trip, I suppose, at the end of the day.
Yeah, look, it was 1200 metres. He did start quite short, didn't he, in this race? So he was favourite, but he actually drifted out to about 4.1, but he's still the favourite. He ran okay, but the 1650 on a dry all-weather track, I think, is going to suit him down the ground.
Absolutely, and he wasn't quite as quick out as he was against the sprinters. They got him for early speed, so I wouldn't be taking too much notice of that run, and as we know, he's a lot better horse than that.
Okay, well, we can have a look at some of his stats. So over the 1650, 4 goes, Mark, he's won 3 of them, and the other one he was placed as well, finished 3rd.
And went that track record of 1:36.15 at the back end of last preparation. Zach's on board, Paul. He's ridden him twice for 2 wins. If he's anywhere near the horse that we saw last time in, he'll come out and give this race a massive shake.
Yeah, I think the only way that he could be undone is whether these horses in the early part of the race take him on, like the likes of King Shield. If they do take him on, then he might just have to use a bit of gas early.
But his best last season, he was just unstoppable in front. But just listening to Zach there, is he the same sort of horse that he was last year? What are his rivals then? What about Wishful Thinker, Paul, switching to the dirt?
This is the key. He's now an 8-year-old and he's coming to the dirt for the first time. Cheek pieces will come off him as well. Look, he generally works well on the surface, so a little bit of an unknown there. Barrier number 2 won't help him because he gets back.
He has trialled on the surface. It was a fair while ago. It was behind Hot King Prawn, so he has looked at least at the surface on a trial. This is behind Lucky Patch. He makes ground down the outside. Didn't have him in. Cheek pieces come off. Jerry Chow takes a bit of a claim off him as well, but interesting to see Dennis chucking him on the dirt this week.
Yeah, another horse moving on to the all-weather as well is Telecom Fighters, after a very impressive win, Mark at Happy Valley last time.
Yeah, Mitchell's done a really good job with this horse, and he's going to get on the speed as well, but he doesn't need to lead. He can take a trail as well. He's a very fast horse, this guy, Paul, and he's shown that around Happy Valley. He's run good time and time again, and he's belted them up this night. Yeah,
look, I've put him in. Now, I like his breeding for the all-weather by the Brothers War out of an Irish-bred mare, so he works well on the surface. Mi Choi does a lot of work with his horses on the surface as well, so yeah, no, I don't mind him.
Okay, another horse that deserves some respect is King Shield. And before Hong Kong Great came along, Paul, he was our sort of dominant all-weather horse, or certainly one of them, getting to the front and dictating.
Yeah, and last season he sort of really went off the boil. Look, he's come out, he's done this trial here. He was pushed out a little bit, I thought, at the end of it. Derek Lung, barrier number 3. You could just see he was just starting to get to work with him late. That's what worried me a little bit.
Had him in on a minor line, a very minor line, because of his good record last season when he was in form. But you're right, he went right off towards the end of it. He's had 3 trials and he has looked okay in them.
It's a very compact market with the 8 runners, Paul, but Hong Kong Greats are even money favourite.
Yeah, look, I've got him on top. I think having that run under his belt and stepping up to 16.50 looks ideal. Horse coming to the service for the first time is not usual talent. He has won a trial on the wet slow before, and does work really well on the surface, and we know he's a high-class horse. Telecom Fighters again. All these 3 horses in behind have never run on the surface before, but have all worked and trialled well on it, the 4, the 7 and the 8. So I went 1, 4, 7 and 8.
With Hong Kong Great, I think he's just going to be too fast for them, even with the 133 pounds on his back. He's never carried that to win before. 128's the most he's carried to victory, and that was 4 starts ago. He goes on top to beat number 7 Telecom Fighters. He carries an extra 10 pounds on the back of that very good win at Happy Valley last time. Good catch right here for Matthew Chadwick. 5 The Rock goes in, only to the all-weather for the second time. The pacifiers go back on. He has placed on the all-weather offer rating of 90 and King Shield, just in case he can get back to that earlier season form from last time in. 1, 7, 5 and 3.
I got the same cue there as Mark, the 1 and the 7. Just listening to Zach, there has curbed my enthusiasm slightly about Hong Kong Great, but on form, I think he'll take the world of beating here. Still to come, we'll look at the final race on the programme. It's a Class 3 over the 1200 metres, plus all the best bets. That's up next. Racing in Hong Kong is at Sha Tin on Wednesday night as opposed to our normal Wednesday night at Happy Valley. We're up to race number 8 here. This is a Class 3 contest over the 1200 metres and a very strong lineup headed by California Concord, a 2-time course and distance winner. Speedy Mouse down the field behind Flying Bonus last time out. Gunnison, we'll hear from Derek Long very shortly, is a course and distance winner as well. Brilliant Fortune switching to the all-weather for the first time. He was over the 1,000 metres behind Harmony and Bless last time out at Happy Valley. Northern Dragon run up at a big price behind Elon last time out. Those 2 lock horns once more. Astrologer makes his Hong Kong debut. Super Wind Dragon also coming out of the Elon race, and Good Health. Keith Young will ride him from barrier number 3. He's got a little bit of speed on his side as well. So let's have a look at the speed map as always. We're saying good in the early stages here, Mark. Where are we looking? Who are the key horses to look out for?
War of Courage goes forward, as does Brilliant Fortune on the speed map. There's a few others that can show some pace. Paul, horses like California Concord can likely get across and get handy as well. Speedy Mouse has been best when he's been up on the speed, and Good Health has shown toe as well. Probably up against it in this field, but he's drawn not badly down in barrier 3.
Yeah, I thought War of Courage might actually lead by himself. Brilliant Fortune from barrier 7. Might just have to work a little bit, and I don't think he'll want to take on War of Courage. As you mentioned, Speedy Mouse is drawn the inside, so he might be the one most likely to push up.
All right, okay, so again, a few options as far as the speed map is concerned. Plenty of key races to get through. Before that, though, let's check in, as I said before, with Derek Lung, who'll ride Gunnison.
Derek, you ride Gunnison in the last. That was a very strong finish on the all-weather last time.
Yes, he always went good on the all-weather. Just depends the draw, if the inside draw will help him a lot. And now he maybe 1 year older, he don't have too much early speed at the moment. So now he have an outside draw, it will be difficult for him. I hope he can find the spot between around midfield with the cover. And if he can relax in the middle stage, I think he will finish strong.
It's a very similar field to the one he raced last time, so that must give you some confidence if you can get that luck during the run.
Yes, if I have some luck, can slot in midfield with the cover and get a clear one at the straight, I think he still can be a strong finish.
Is he a better horse on the all-weather than the turf? So if we see him on the turf, should we wait till he gets back onto the all-weather?
I think both he can handle it, because when he's younger, he was pretty class 1 horse. Now he's back to class 3, but he's getting older. But he's still very honest.
He is at that. That's Gunnison. Derek taking through his chances there. Now, we're going to go back and have a look at that race again, because there's lots of horses coming out of this race. We'll start off, Elon ultimately was the winner. He drew wide here in barrier number 12. The other horses, though, Mark, that we need to take note of. Northern Dragon, who runs second. He was coming out of... which barrier? Barrier number 10 was Northern Dragon. We got Gunnison back on the inside, which Derek talking about. He ran third. Super Wind Dragon, he was out wide as well, barrier number 11. California Concord off the inside gate. Mega Heart, he's a little bit slow out of the gates in race number 9. And Sunset Watch as well. Where's he? Barrier number 4, Mark.
Exactly. So we've had a change of barriers with a few of them. You can see Mega Heart there in barrier number 9. That's just what he does at the start. He wants to get the head up, and it costs him some distance at the start every time he goes round. Gunnarson's not going to get as forward quickly from the wider draw this week, Paul, and they're following Super Axiom, who's a noted speed horse. He's not there this week, so that changes everything.
This is Super Wind Dragon as well, before we go on. He's the one that's a little bit unlucky down the straight, Paul.
Yeah, I didn't mind him this start on the all-weather, and they're sticking him to 1,200 metres. I think he might be better when he gets up to 1,650, but from barrier 12 with a bit of pace in the race, you can see him not getting much run through. So I wanted to include him. He couldn't get a run halfway down, and he did stay on nicely for 4th. It was a good run from Elon as well. This was a really rough result because Super Axiom did set them up in front, didn't he?
As Elon came through the middle. Northern Dragon's the horse on the extreme right of screen who's made up plenty of ground. The winner's been able to get through the centre and take the shortcut. Northern Dragon has had to come right around the outside. Mega Heart disappointing down on the rail compared to how he normally finishes.
Yeah, it's an interesting race to try and analyse that one with Northern Dragon, the price that he was. This is Brilliant Fortune. This is on the turf. Obviously, Nervous Witness is the winner of this race. So switching now to the all-weather, Mark.
He had a start after this at Happy Valley. It was last week, actually, but it was a tough trip and he had some mucus in the system. So I thought we'd go back and show this one. He pushed Nervous Witness for a while now. They've made a gear change. Casper has the blinkers off. The pacifiers go on for the all-weather appearance this week. Paul, got into a tangle with a very smart horse in Nervous Witness. He's never too far away, Brilliant Fortune. Got him in just on the dirt for the first time, but I'm worried about the 7-day backup with mucus.
Yeah, look, he's had 3 starts in quick succession now. This will be his 3rd start in quick succession. So, look, I thought it was a really fast sectional, that middle one with Nervous Witness. And then he came out with mucus next start. This is his first start on the all-weather. And he should be okay on it. The blinkers will come off him. But I'm just not so sure. So in this field, I've left them out.
OK, this is Mega Heart circled. In the purple is Speedy Mouse, Paul. And then Gunnarson again, the old boy down the outside.
Yeah, so Speedy Mouse, look, he's a horse who's was having his first start here and went out favourite, in fact. But it was a little bit disappointing, I thought. So jury's out about him on the surface. Gunnarson's getting on a bit in age, and Mega Heart normally blows the start.
I'm going to take a chance on Mega Heart this week. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate the confidence. We saw him in the replay after this where he did blow the start and he didn't run on. He finishes the race off nicely. No Super Axiom in this race means he's not going to run off their legs earlier. So I'm just going to take an each-way chance on the fact. And he has won 4 races as well, has Mega Heart, and 3 of them have been on the all-weather surface.
OK, so the barrier's not really much of a concern for him. He normally drops in and they're just looking for him to come with a late rattle. But speed would be key. What about War of Courage, Mark? We're looking at him over the 1,200 metres on the turf, of course. There he is with the big blue blinkers.
This is a race where Packing Victory wins. Diamond Brilliance outside him. He's gone on to win since, and he's just ducked in there, Paul, but he'd covered a lot of ground, and you can't cover a lot of ground. Figures 2's working out late. He was beaten on the weekend. Look, it's disappointing on face value, but he was entitled to get tired because he had no luck from the draw. No,
definitely, and a completely different surface now. From barrier number 1, I think the horse can get an easy lead as well. On my sort of speed map, I thought he would lead on his own, and if he does, I think he'd be really tough to beat.
OK, well, we can have a look at him in a moment on the all-weather trialling. That's 5 Elements running second as well. It didn't win on the weekend, but he certainly ran well. So I think the form of the race ultimately stands up. Here he is then, Paul, on the all-weather on his trials, and you've liked what you've seen.
Yeah, I have. I definitely have. And he's had trials on the all-weather before. And if he does get from barrier number 1, he's going to get a nice cushy run. Look, I think he'll lead. If something wants to take him on, and he can easily get the trail as well as we saw in that last race. Thought it was a really nice trial here. He fought back really well. And look, I quite like him in this race. I think he can win this, and he'll be out of trouble when in the front. And he fought back nicely in that trial, I thought.
He did like it as well. And the horse on his outside is Red Desert, who's a noted all-weather horse. He'll go red in race 2 over an unsuitable 1650. So if he doesn't perform, don't be too concerned by that performance out of that trial.
OK, wide market here, Paul. California Concord, 5.2 favourite.
Yeah, got him in, but I'm going to stick with the one I was just talking about, War of Courage. I think he can win this race. So he's on top. Now, Super Wind Dragon, if they do a bit of a speed bell up front, he's got the pace to finish off strongly. So he's in there for second. California Concord, the favourite. He's just got a wide draw, and he's got to carry the top weight of 131. Northern Dragon, we saw him coming in the other race, and he hit the line strongly as well. That was only his first start for the new stable. This would be his second, and he seemed to like the surface. 7, 11, 1 and 6.
Going to take an each-way chance with Mega Heart. Think of War of Courage is going to be a very hard horse to beat, but Mega Heart, he'll probably blow the start, hopefully not by too much. You can get across, drop in and be strong at the end. disappointed up the inside last time, but expect him to bounce back here. 7 more of Courage. Like the all-weather trial, it looked good. An excuse first up. Brilliant Fortune on the quick backup. He's always looked like he'd win one at short term in Hong Kong. He's now up to start number 8, and California Concord to round out the first 4. 9, 7, 5 and 1.
Tough race to finish the night. I think Sunset Watch might give us some each-way value there, and Brilliant Fortune as well, both at a decent price. The 4 and 5, the cue for me in race number 8. Now, 8 races on the programme. Paul, who are the ones that stood out for you?
Well, it's quite tricky earlier on. I thought a horse called Cheap Our Boss, who's coming onto the surface. He's a horse that's really trialled well on it. I quite like him. Figures 2, another one who's only had limited starts on the all-weather, up to 1800 looks ideal for him. Steel Wins won his last 2, and I can see him winning once again. He can go on with it. A horse called Yes We Can. I think he'll be a big price, but he's a big, strong horse, and he'll get back. He's got a really good finish on him as well. I like a first starter called Border Control, one of Tony Cruz's. He's had the 5 trials to get him ready. Big horse at £12.51 as well. I think he's a good chance as well.
Okay, all right, so not forgetting on the audio video section of the website, you'll find the video previews of those. Who was the best of that lot, Paul?
I'm going to go with the one on the last. I think we'll get a price. He's currently 13 to 1. I don't think he'll start that, but still think he'll come up a decent price. War of Courage. And Yes We Can. He should be around 20 to 1, this horse. He's drawn wide, but he gets back anyway. He'll hit the line strongly. And we'll do the play in Yes We Can's race with Double Take and Super Fast. QQP 1 to 11.
Race 4, number 7, Everyone's Victory. Best draw he's had in Hong Kong in 7 starts. It was barrier 5 prior. Barrier number 3 this week. Vincent Ho for Frankie Law, and meets Still Win better off at the weights. Mega hard in the last. He'll be running on. Hopefully he can run home over the top of them. And we'll couple him up with War of Courage and Brilliant Fortune in a QQP.
All right, Super Fast for me from the inside gate. Zach Burton, Francis Lloyd, really liked his trial coming into this, as I did for the Hulk in race number 7 as well. Vincent Hull riding for Casper Found, so it was a smart. He's drawn wide, but I still think he might be able to overcome that. Him in a QQP with Bear Slam and True Legend in that 7th event. So there you go, that's Sha Tin dealt with on Wednesday night, which means day meeting at Happy Valley.
Can't wait to get to the Valley of the Day. We had 1 last season, 2 this year. The weather forecast is great. It could be a great day on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's always good fun there at the Valley during the day as well, so it should be good.
All right, looking forward to it.
It's Halloween too.
Oh, well, how about that? That's the show, though. Thanks for watching. I hope we'll see you at Sha Tin on Wednesday night when we will be racing to win.